He was fantastic. And there's not a day goes by without I don't think about him, because I owe him everything. He got me started.
Few artists in rock history have embodied the swagger, soul, and sheer joy of music like Rod Stewart. From his early days busking on the streets of London to fronting the Faces, and later becoming one of the most successful solo artists of all time. Stewart's journey has been shaped by the legends who came before him.
25-year-old Rod Stewart would have said, if he had been told that he'd be making albums and hits and successes for 5 decades, what would a 25-year-old Rod Stewart have said back then?
Oh, get out of here! No way.
Stay away from my window.
His raspy voice, his magnetic stage presence, and his ability to blend rock, blues, and soul didn't emerge in a vacuum. Rather, they were forged in the fires of the greats he admired.
Wind don't whistle around my knees. I put on my wedding suit and catch the evening train. I'll be home before the milk's upon the door.
From the bluesmen of America's Deep South to the British invasion titans, Stewart's musical DNA is a rich tapestry of influences. He's never been shy about crediting the artists who inspired him, nor has he hesitated to pay tribute through covers, collaborations, and outright praise. As he once put it, Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, those guys taught us Brits how to sing with grit. It's no surprise that the Rolling Stones had a profound effect on Stewart. They were the epitome of British rock rebellion, blending the raw energy of Chuck Berry with the soulful grit of the blues. But it was Mick Jagger, in particular, who had a lasting impact on Stewart's onstage persona. Mick was always the best frontman. He wrote the book on how to do it. I copied his moves, and so did everyone else, Stewart admitted in an interview with Rolling Stone in 2013. Indeed, you can see Jagger's influence in the way Stewart prowls the stage, microphone stand in hand, exuding that mix of confidence and cheeky charisma. Like Jagger, Stewart took inspiration from American blues and soul singers, using his voice as an instrument rather than just a tool for delivering lyrics.
Red roses too, I see them bloom for me and you.
I loved the bluesy feel of the Stones, that raw energy. They were the band we all wanted to be, he told the BBC in 2005. Though he's best known for his solo career, Stewart's time with the Faces remains legendary.
The Faces. Their songs are urban landscape. Rod Stewart, lead singer in his Marcus. Ronnie Lane, bass, and Ron Wood, lead guitar with their ladies.
Stay with me, stay with me, 'cause tonight you're gonna stay with me.
The band, formed in the aftermath of the Small Faces, was a hard-drinking, hard-rocking outfit that became famous for its loose, almost reckless approach to performance. The Faces were a band of brothers, completely unpolished but full of heart, Stewart wrote in Rod, the autobiography, in 2012. Their music had a raw, unfiltered joy, built on blues, boogie, and the unbreakable bond between Stewart and guitarist Ronnie Wood. They weren't about technical perfection, they were about feel. We weren't trying to be perfect, we were just having fun. And that's what made the Faces special, Stewart told Classic Rock magazine in 2015. Though their time was short-lived, the Faces left a lasting imprint on rock and roll, and Stewart still performs their classics, like Stay With Me and Ooh La La, to this day. While Stewart was always more aligned with the blues rock sound of the Stones, he held the Beatles in the highest regard, particularly when it came to songwriting. Paul McCartney is probably the greatest melody writer ever, and John Lennon had that rawness, that honesty in his words, he told The Guardian in 2016. Stewart even had the chance to see them in their early days. I remember seeing them at the Cavern Club. You knew instantly they were going to change everything, he recalled to BBC Radio 2 in 2010. Over the years, he has covered their songs, including a stunning rendition of In My Life.
There are places I remember all my life.
If there is one artist Stewart has worshipped above all others, it is Sam Cooke.
They're putting trouble on the run. Man, you find old and young, twisting the night away. They're twisting.
The legendary soul singer's voice was a revelation to Stewart as a young man. Sam Cooke is my hero. I wanted to be him. His voice had so much soul, so much feeling, Stewart told The Times in 2018. Cooke's ability to convey raw emotion in his singing had a profound effect on Stewart's vocal style. The first time I heard A Change Is Gonna Come, I was floored. I knew I had to learn how to sing like that, he told Rolling Stone in 2004. Stewart's 1974 cover of You Send Me was his personal homage to Cooke, and his 2009 album Soul Book was filled with tributes to his hero.
You send me, honest you do, honest you do.
Like so many British rockers of the 1960s, Stewart was obsessed with American blues. The gravelly-voiced titans of Chicago blues, like Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, were instrumental in shaping his vocal delivery. Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf, those guys taught us Brits how to sing with grit, he said in Mojo magazine in 2013. He didn't just listen, he studied. I used to listen to Muddy Waters all night, trying to copy that rasp, he admitted in his autobiography. Bob Dylan's influence on Stewart goes beyond admiration. It has seeped into his songwriting and performance. Bob Dylan changed everything. His words were poetry. I've covered more of his songs than any other artist, Stewart told Rolling Stone in 2019. One of Stewart's most famous songs, Forever Young, was written as a tribute to Dylan, inspired by his song of the same name.
And in my heart, you will always remain forever young.
Forever Young, my version, was my tribute to Dylan. He inspired me to write my own songs, Stewart said in The Telegraph in 2012. Before the Stones, before the Beatles, there was Chuck Berry and Little Richard, two pioneers who laid the groundwork for rock and roll. Stewart, like many British musicians of his generation, was mesmerized by their energy. Chuck Berry was rock and roll. Without him, none of us would be here, he told Mojo magazine in 2010. As for Little Richard, Stewart admired his flamboyance and wild stage presence. Little Richard was outrageous. He showed us all how to have fun on stage, he said in Classic Rock magazine in 2014. Rod Stewart's career is a testament to the power of influence. From the bluesy grit of Muddy Waters to the soul-stirring vocals of Sam Cooke, from the swagger of the Rolling Stones to the poetic genius of Bob Dylan, Stewart absorbed the best of the best and made it his own. And yet, despite all these influences, he remains unmistakably Rod Stewart, a man with one of the most recognizable voices in music history.
The rhythm of my heart beats like a drum.
Would he have become the Rod Stewart we know today without these legends? Perhaps not. But one thing is certain. He has spent his entire career paying tribute to them, not just with words, but with the music itself.